Jessie Bear Book Club, the only book club where we don't always talk about books. Because it's October and Spooktober, every is it called week this week every week this month we are going to be doing something spooky. And today we are doing a review of Interview with a Vampire season 2. If you didn't already know, I did a review of season 1 of Interview with a Vampire, and I enjoyed it so much. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies from being like a teenager, and like who doesn't love a bit of Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, you know? But I really enjoyed season 1 once I got into it, and I thought season 2 was going to be amazing. So I was so excited. I got COVID during the summer, well, like the end of the summer, and that's when I watched it and wrote my review. And I've been saving it. I've been saving it for Spooktober. And everybody else might find it excited. I got my Coffeezilla shirt. Look, Coffeezilla. It's got like a big cat on the back as well, because, you know, I love Coffeezilla. And Cormac really loves Coffeezilla. So this is why we're doing it. So when this season came out, I think it came out like way before in America, because it's AMC, I think, but it came out on the BBC. And, you know, I watched it on the BBC. They dropped all of them at once while they were playing just on the TV. I thought they maybe would drop them at Halloween, but they dropped them way earlier. I don't know if they're still available on the BBC. That's something to go in and look at. But first off, I was not expecting the immediate time jump at the beginning of this season. I mean, it worked to an extent, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the Second World War and the vampires in the Second World War, not just them yelling at soldiers in German, you know? The Claudia actress change was okay. I actually didn't notice until like the end when the credits came up. I did not notice the actress change. They cast really well. And, you know, she has a very similar style of acting to the original actress. So I think if you didn't know, you'd just be like, oh, you know, she looks a bit different. But people grow up, you know, she was cast very young. That's kind of what I thought. I was like, oh, you know, maybe she's just grown up a bit. You know, your face changes as you grow. I did really enjoy seeing some of the old vampires in Transylvania. But why were they there and gone so quickly? That's something I want to know, because I really thought we'd get to see at least a couple of episodes of the old vampires in Transylvania, and we didn't get any of that at all. And I was severely disappointed because, like, guys, I'm here for the old stuff. Like, it was cool seeing the old woman throw herself into the fire and the one that was like barely human, but I could have done with much more vampire lore. And I know we get into that later, but like I like old style, like Bram Stoker type, you know, vampires. But that is just me, I guess. The Vampire Theatre in Paris wasn't as dramatic as I thought it was going to be, but I suppose the TV show has a smaller budget than the movie. So, in a way, that makes sense, but I don't know. I liked what they did with the projections. That was interesting, but I want dramatic. But I guess as well, like, this TV show is set further forward in time to the movie and the books, so you get what you get. By episode 3, you really get the feeling of the danger Louis and Claudia have put themselves in coming to Paris, especially Claudia, as she wants to enter the coven, and it's a really tight clique of vampires that live by unwritten rules, shall we say, and they're hard to follow, and the clique won't tell you everything. The clique have also become very jealous of Louis and Armand's relationship as that develops, and I don't like Armand. I don't. Sorry to say it. I think he's really annoying and very controlling. Like, I definitely got that vibe. Like, he's so much older than Louis, and he's so much older than Lestat that you get the idea that he's really playing games. Or is that just me? Did anyone else feel like Armand was playing games the whole way through this? By episode 4, I was really, really mistrusting Armand. Like, I was like, what are you up to? And I know you get the big reveal at the end, but did anyone else see that big reveal coming, that he was behind it all along? or am I just some like weird loner who's read too many books? The flashback episode was good to the 1970s, but it didn't really show us anything apart from the fact that Louis has been really self-destructive for a long period of time, you know? And I mean, he's self-hating in the books, but he's not really self-destructive. But the CGI where he runs out into the light and gets burnt, I liked that. That really worked for me. You can see my notes. If anybody's got any comments, leave them below. And if anybody would like to give this video a like and really help me out, that would be great. Louis becomes more and more unhinged as this show goes on. And I quite liked seeing him go from being very in control to not being in control, and I thought that was interesting with his photography as well. The scene where Louis makes Madeline was initially great. Like the hesitation he felt at making another vampire when he feels he himself has been cursed was a really good battle. And then the idea that he would stand by his decision making Madeline was great character development. I thought, oh my god, it's taken you like 100+ years to stand by your choices, but I'm really glad you've got there. But I thought Armand resented the growth that Louis has had, you know? I really did feel like that, you know, Armand is a dick. And I think he liked Louis in a little box, you know? And I think that's mirrored, you know, with this new interview as well. He's keeping Louis in a box, he's brainwashed him, he's wiped his memory, whatever, you know? And I just knew something was coming. You know, like, you know the Coven are about to turn, especially if you've read the books or you've watched the other movie, you know the Coven is about to turn. And I was like, yes, of course Armand was in on it. Of course he was. But jaw drop moment. Lestat walking out on stage. I really, really, really liked watching Lestat walk out. That was amazing. I wasn't expecting, well, I kind of was, but I wasn't. You know, you're hoping to see Lestat, and you've been seeing like the weird ghost Lestat haunting Louis, but when Lestat walks out on stage, I was like, yes, go Lestat. And just the way he directs the whole thing, you know, the whole trial, and it's a show trial, and it's just Lestat at his best. That was really, really good. But after that, the show just kind of petered out for me. I kind of felt like Madeline should have betrayed Claudia at the last moment. I thought that would have been very good and very true to her character in this show. Because, you know, she was an ally with the Germans, blah, blah, blah. I feel like Madeline was just out for herself and would have turned on Claudia. The Madeline of this show would have turned on Claudia. Not the Madeline of the books, but the Madeline of this show would have turned on Claudia. And we didn't get that. And I would have liked to have seen that, you know? That's the honest truth. I would have liked to have seen that. And then, you know, there's a fight at the end and the interviewer gets turned. And I mean, we kind of all knew that was going to happen. But I didn't want it to happen. I think he never should have been turned. I think that should have been an ongoing thing. Sorry, somebody's honking their horn outside. But I do think the interviewer being turned and then being on all the shows talking about being a vampire was just shit. And then I was doing some research, and I know that the next season of Interview with a Vampire is going to be about Rockstar Lestat. And I don't like Rockstar Lestat. That's like the most boring version of Lestat. Can we please have like Lestat, you know, being turned? I know we covered it kind of with the Magnus thing in season 2, but I think Rockstar Lestat is the worst. I don't like any of the Queen of the Damned books or movies or any of that. I'm here for Louis and Lestat. That's what I want to see, you know? That's the bedrock of Anne Rice, I feel. But, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I was actually surprised that Rotten Tomatoes gave this season 98%. That is a lot to give this season, because I didn't think it was as good as season 1. I didn't. Maybe people out there disagree with me. Did you like season 2 of Interview with a Vampire better than season 1? But I thought season one had more substance. It had better character development. It took place almost over a shorter time. I felt like we were in Paris for ages. I would have liked to have seen them traveling more. Uh, I mean, maybe you could have had Lestat clawing himself out of the earth, you know, like you do in the original movie. Like a bit of that I would have liked to have seen. I definitely, I mean, I would have liked to have seen them castle hopping, trying to find stuff about vampires. Maybe some, oh, what's her name? That countess who used to drink blood, like something like that. Or, you know, going to Dracula's lair, or in Ireland looking for Abernath, or some other like vampire legend. I feel like we really could have done with in this, but instead we jumped straight into the Paris Coven. There's a little bit of talk about the London Coven in this, but we don't see anything, we don't really hear anything. We hear also about the Italian Coven, but of course we don't get much of that either. Well, basically nothing. We know that Armand was maybe made during like Rome, but I would rather see Armand's story than get Rockstar Lestat in the next season. Like, does anybody else agree? I feel like Rockstar Lestat is just like 1980s like flash pop, or if you've ever seen like Always Sunny, when they're like Dayman, ah, but not the musical, the original like Dennis's Dayman in the silver suit. What does everybody else think? I'm gonna have some tea. Ooh. Mm. But apart from that, I mean, like, it's a vampire story. Who doesn't like a vampire story? I know I do. We actually watched The Boys from County Hell. If anyone's in the UK, you can get it on 4OD at the moment. It's not 4OD, it's all four. I'm so old, I keep saying 4OD. But we went to go see it in the cinema 4 years ago, and it's really good. It's very funny, lots of black humor in it. If you like vampire-y type stuff, go and watch that. So we're doing Monster Madness, as I said before in my last live stream. So far we've watched Interview with the Devil. That's on Shudder. It was so good. So good. I would really highly recommend that horror movie to anybody at this time of year. We watched that. Then we watched Cobweb, which is on Netflix, I believe, and it was alright. I thought the monster reveal, like the face reveal at the end, wasn't brilliant, but it was. I liked seeing Homelander. I didn't actually recognize him as Homelander until Cormac pointed it out. And then we watched The Love Witch, which I had wanted to see for so long, and it is so good. The Love Witch is amazing. Amazing movie. I mean, it's not really horror. It's definitely like campy 70s, you know, horror, or trying to be 70s, and you're not quite sure what time period it's meant to be set in, because it's like got old cars, but they have mobile phones, you know, and the clothes are like old style, so it's a bit out there, but I would highly recommend it to anybody. I think we had to buy that on Prime or rent it or whatever. Oh, what else did we watch? Last night we watched The Quiet Place, which I had never seen, and it was really good. It was really, really good. I mean, I kind of knew it was going to be good because everyone always says it's really good. Like, I've been hearing that for years, and I know there's a prequel coming out and there's a sequel, so I'll probably watch them at some point. So we watched The Love Witch, Cobwebs, Quiet Place, Interview with the Devil, and we watched another one, but I can't remember what it is now. It will come to me. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but really enjoying it. We actually bought Shudder for the month because, you know, why not? But last year I thought it was really good. They had all these documentaries about like how shark movies became popular and things, and this year there's none. I can't find like a documentary section on Shudder. Does anybody else know of a documentary section? Because I watched that, and I don't know, horror movies as well, you know, they can be hit or miss, and I prefer like the kind of psychoactive ones. Like, I like Midsummer, and I really like The Witch. I really can't wait to see Robert Edgar's new Nosferatu movie. Really can't wait to see that. and I think we're going to go to the cinema to see the original Carrie. They're doing a showing of that. They're also doing a showing of, I think it's the 1994 Bram Stoker's Dracula with Keanu Reeves and his bad accent. I love that movie. I love that movie so much. I remember watching that on daytime TV in Spain. I think it was on during the summer. And you know when it's like so hot because it'd be like 45 degrees and we didn't have aircon or a pool when I was a kid. And I'd just be like lying on the tiled floor watching this at like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon because that's what you did. What else? We've been following, of course, AVGN or Cinemassacre, whatever you want to call them. We've been following their Monster Madness. They're doing a whole thing about the guy who made like 100 monster movies. Hello, I am ASCII. So that's good. But I can't think of like any other movies we're gonna watch off the top of my head at the moment. If there's any good, oh, we watched The Boys from County Hell. I said that we watched The Boys from County Hell. That's the other one I couldn't remember. But if anyone has any good recommendations for vampire movies, I would like to know. Last year we watched the one where they record themselves. I cannot remember the name of it. Like guy gets bitten. That was really good. It was like kind of like a found footage type thing that I really enjoyed. I need to actually go through Shudder and pick some stuff up out. I really want to watch The Bones and All, but we have to rent it, and because we've already got Shudder for the month, we were like, oh, we should watch the ones on Shudder. Plus, which is really annoying, a lot of the horror movies are like 2 hours plus long. So you kind of like, do I want to sit, on a weekday when you've got work and stuff, like, do I want to sit and watch a 2.5 hour movie? But I know a lot of people would, but I don't know. You got other stuff to do, like you have to work out and like do house stuff. I would like to watch, there's like a whole bunch of movies about on Prime that I've got saved. One of them stars Tilda Swinton, I think, in like a dance school. The other one is about twins at Juilliard. And then there's another like dance school one. It's all very witchy. I like a witchy movie with the occult, I'm trying to think of anything else really witchy that I would like to watch. Like, I don't really want to watch The Witch again. I think I've seen it too many times now. Like, what's coming. It's not as good, not as progressive. I might actually... Should I go through my Prime? I won't. I'm trying to think. We've been listening to Danny Robbins. He is doing his Uncanny Advent calendar for Halloween. So every like day he is coming out with a new ghost story, so we've been following that, which is really good. I know he's gonna have like a big one at the end of like on Halloween. There's gonna be a big one, so I'm really looking forward to listening to that, because who doesn't love Danny Robbins? We've been to see him twice now. So yeah, but like horror, I've got his book, the Uncanny book, which I need to read. But when you haven't got around to like reading horror because you're still reading whatever you were reading during the summer. So I need to like read some horror books. So if anyone has any like horror recommendations, I've got The Watchers saved on my wish list, I think, for Audible, which is like an alien thing, which I might listen to. But then again, aliens really freak me out, so maybe not. Like, I'm good with ghosts and witches and vampires, like none of that stuff scares me, but aliens terrify me. We went to go and see Alien Romulus, and I had nightmares about that monster at the end. Thank you, Super Slav. But no, I need to read some horror. We're going as The Shining for Halloween, so I'm going as Shelley Duvall, and then Cormac's going to go as Jack Nicholson. So we ordered our costumes on Friday, so that'll be fun. My friend always has like a really big Halloween party, and we have like a little contest and stuff. I won the year I went as like a sexy Spock, so that was good. But like I've been trying to win for ages, but like other people kept winning. So one year a guy won, he dressed up as Fat Thor, he won. And then our friend Patrice, he dressed up as Nightcrawler, painted himself completely blue. He won that year. Somebody else won like another year. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, like we always do. We have like a little trophy and everything. It's like a whole thing. But it's fun. You know, it's just fun. You know, we play beer pong and stuff. It's such a horrible wet day here. I don't like it at all. Looking forward. I'm gonna go pumpkin picking at some point if the weather picks up. Hopefully in the next few weeks. But we'll have to do it on a Sunday because I'm working most Saturdays. I was thinking this Halloween I might make a Cyclops pumpkin. I started following a page on Facebook that are all about, you know, the guy who made all the models for the Sinbad movies, and like the creature from the Black Lagoon is like really famous. I can't remember his name, but I used to love the Sinbad movies when I was a kid. Like, you know, the bit where all the skeleton, I think it might be the Golden Fleece, all the skeletons come back to life. I used to really love that. So definitely going to maybe do like a Cyclops in homage to him. You know, it might be fun. I haven't done a Cyclops. I normally do a cat. Does anybody want to see my cat? She's there. She's in ball mode. Ah! It's your butt. Give your butt a pet. This is her. She's been asleep there all day. But I think there's much interaction this week, which is not as fun, but what can you do? I'm going to be back next week. I'm going to try and do a taste test next week. I was meant to do it on Saturday, but I didn't get around to it. I've got some spicy hot Cheetos, and they're all purple, which is kind of Halloween-y. So we're going to do that. And then I have an illustrated copy, like a graphic novel of Bram Stoker's Dracula, so I might do a dramatic reading of that for Halloween as well, which would be good. So, until next time, guys, bye!